Part 21. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 201. Chapter 201, Spending Money to Get Jealous. Goosey Eye chuckled and touched her head. Zhou Jinjin made a bid, and Goosey Eye was determined to win. Finally, the price was 20 million euros, and the nobles who did not take them seriously were shocked. These two people seemed to have entered the auction by mistake. They were dressed simply. Except for the watch, Goosey Eye was dressed in nothing more than 500 euros, but he had already spent a lot of money at the auction. It cost 50 million euros. It can be seen that the family has a strong financial background and is extraordinary. Who are they? The noble lady was angry and confused. Are they the daughter of which Chinese conglomerate? I don't know, I haven't seen it. We have never seen it at any major auction in country F. If you are young and can spend a lot of money, you must be the daughter of some plutocrat. They are really arrogant. Zhou Jinjin was really happy, especially when she saw that the nobleman at the next table was obviously very angry but still kept his demeanor, which made her even more happy. Pei Chuying sipped champagne and chuckled, but kept silent. When Goosey Eye held up a sign to take a photo of an antique, Pei Chuying started to fight with her. The two of them bid for 40 million euros, which was far more than the price of the antique itself. Gu Sifeng gave up calmly. Pei Chuying raised his glass and gave a distant salute, gentle and generous, and Goosey Eye looked away. Zhou Jinjin asked, "Do you like this antique?" "Dislike? What are you filming for?" "It's fun." Goosey Eye chuckled and waited calmly for Suclo's famous piano. The auction was very fierce and the competition was also fierce. The ladies' table also felt the smell of gunpowder, but they were gloating about the play. She actually bid with Pei Chuying. Does she know who Pei Chuying is? The lady shook her head. It's really humiliating. She must have offended Pei Chuying. Let's just wait and see the joke. Can Pei Chuying get out of this door alive if she offends her? They really don't know that the sky is high and the sky is high. They dare to provoke anyone. They provoke us. They even provoke Pei Chuying and seek their own death. Who dares to offend Pei Chuying at the auction? She really doesn't know how to live or die. Goosey Eye listened to their ridicule and humiliation without saying a word. There were a few collections that she was interested in, but they were not necessary, so she continued to bid. Every item she bid for was not received, but Pei Chuying took it all. Those nobles felt that she was seeking death for offending Pei Chuying, so she had to offend Pei Chuying thoroughly. She raised the price all the way, and all the collections exceeded the value of the collection when Pei Chuying got it. She seemed to be deliberately raising the price for Pei Chuying. Pei Chuying has spent 200 million euros at auction. Zhou Jinjin was sensitively aware that Goosey Eye was being targeted. This woman is sick. She is specifically against you. Why are you shooting? What is she shooting? Does she have too much money to burn? Does she know you? Love rival. Goosey's words were concise and to the point. Zhou Jinjin suddenly turned to look at Pei Chuying. How old is she? 27. Zhou Jinjin looked disgusted. I don't dislike the relationship between siblings, nor do I deny it. She is quite beautiful, but if she covets our husband, I would have a problem. If I were Lu Ziwen, I would definitely choose you. You look so good, more beautiful than her. She glanced at Goosey's chest, then at Pei Chuying, and concluded, we are still young and can still grow taller, so don't worry. Goosey Eye. Jinjin, you are so superficial. Maybe it was Goosey's eyes that were too straightforward. Zhou Jinjin said, I am a girl who likes to look at beautiful women, but men are more superficial. Who cares about your inner beauty? While the two were talking, another collection was taken. It's Suclo's turn. Goosey's heart was also in doubt, and Zhou Jinjin said, don't worry, I'll take the photo for you. No, I'll do it myself. More than 20 people bid for the Suclo famous jean. When the price reached 20 million, Gu Xi made a bid. She had already bid, and Pei Chuying, who had been standing still, also bid. Pei Chuying is a frequent visitor to auctions. She is known to many nobles and is known to be the head of the Udao family with strong financial resources. She competed with Gu Xi all night for the collection. Gu Xi was completely defeated and did not get anything from her. No matter how dull people are, they can still taste the smell of gunpowder, let alone those who can bid at the auction. Who is not a good person? By the time Gu Xi and Pei Chuying bid, no one was joining in the fun. They didn't want to grab anything Pei Chuying wanted. The ladies couldn't believe that Gu Xi dared to raise the price with Pei Chuying. They looked at her as if Gu Xi was a dead person. It's been 3 years, this is the first time I've seen someone dare to raise the price with Pei Chuying. The body of the eldest lady of the wrong family who deliberately raised the price with Pei Chuying last time was so cold. Seek death. Gu Xi held up a sign. 22 million, the auctioneer shouted the price, and Pei Chuying raised his placard again. Auctioneer, 23 million. Gu Xi continued to raise the sign. Pei Chuying smiled and got into a fight with Gu Xi. Zhou Jinjin checked the price of Sulu's famous piano and found that it was already beyond the value. The two of them shouted all the way to 30 million. Pei Chuying's guard said, "Miss, it's beyond the value." "So what, money can't buy me happiness." Pei Chuying raised her sign again. At 3,500, Gu Xi stopped raising his sign. Pei Chuying looked at the cup of porcelain with a smile on her face. Every time she took the collection from Gu Xi, she would look at the cup of porcelain with respect. It seemed polite, but it concealed provocation, but just when the auctioneer was about to auction the case. 36 million, a man raised a sign. The auctioneer shouted, 36 million at a time, "Is there anyone left?" Pei Chuying narrowed her eyes in displeasure and looked at the person holding the sign. He was a man wearing sunglasses and a suit. He was sitting in the middle of the downstairs, not at the front. Who is so ignorant? Pei Chuying raised the placard again, and the man continued to raise the placard, shouting all the way to 40 million euros. Kono reminded, "Miss, that's enough. You have already spent 200 million euros. Pei Chuying doesn't like the violin, she even hates it, but she doesn't want Gu Xi to get the violin. She knows that Gu Xi is a talented violinist. She snorted coldly, "Forget it, let's take advantage of the rip-off. 40 million euros to buy a famous piano is beyond value. This piano, if auctioned normally, would fetch about 25 million euros. The famous Sukla piano was finally sold for 40 million euros, breaking the highest price for an instrument at auction. It is estimated that it will be difficult for any instrument to surpass it in the next few decades." After the auction, Pei Chuying came over, and the ladies were all watching the excitement. These two country bumpkins are showing off because they have a lot of bad money. Let's see how Pei Chuying teaches them a lesson. Yes, teach them a lesson quickly and let them know that Paris is not a place for them to be arrogant. Gu Xi watched Pei Chuying approaching without any surprise. Zhou Jinjin was truly fearless and thought he was Gu Xi's love rival, so he put on an expression of mutual hatred. "Miss Gu, what a coincidence. I met you at Sotheby's. I had a good harvest today." Pei Chuying greeted her kindly. Gu Xi didn't take any photos, they were all taken by Zhou Jinjin. End of this chapter. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 202. Chapter 202 Group Favor Gu Xi. Pei Chuying had already investigated them clearly and knew Zhou Jinjin's financial resources. The cards she raised were basically what Gu Xi wanted. Gu Xi chuckled, "Then thank you Miss Pei for being merciful and not trying to compete with Jinjin. I know what Zhou Jinjin took was what you wanted." Pei Chuying chuckled and took a step closer calmly, "I did it on purpose. Zhou Jinjin blushed. Was this woman going too far? A naked provocation. She was about to get angry, but Gu Si held her back. Zhou Jinjin was puzzled. Baizai, you are also angry with her. If it were Gu Si a year ago, he would punch her when he heard this. You enjoy this victor's posture, right? Gu Sifeng asked lightly, but Pei Chuiying, you are not the center of the world, and the earth does not revolve around you. The batch of artworks taken today are at a loss. It's a lot of money. I am rich, so this little money is nothing, Pei Chuiying said mockingly. In the whole auction, what you want most is the famous Sukla piano. This is the truth, Gu Si does not deny it. Pei Chuiying stroked her diamond-encrusted nails, her eyes moving with taunting and pity. Tonight's thing is to teach you a lesson. Only the things I don't want are the ones you have the right to touch. What I want, you can't take anything, don't leave. She spoke firmly and domineeringly, but Gu Si smiled. She asked Pei Chuiying, since you have seen through that I want the famous Sukla piano, why didn't you get it? I don't care who took the famous Sukla Chin, as long as it's not you. Pei Chuiying was full of malice. She knew that declaring war with Gu Si would be disrespectful, but she couldn't control the jealousy in her heart. Really, Gu Si smiled innocently. Pei Chuiying had an ominous premonition. Why was she laughing so confidently? The agent came over and wiped his cold sweat. He had already taken off his sunglasses. It was the man who took the photo of Sukla's famous piano. Miss Gu Si, you have to pay the price. Don't regret it, otherwise I will be miserable. Don't worry, I won't regret it. That's my favorite thing. Gu Si's voice was clear and calm. When the agent came over, he spoke to Gu Si in English. Zhou Jinjin specifically told him. Gu Si replied in English, and the group of ladies around him understood it immediately. Stunned and shocked. How dare this country bumpkin? She actually tricked Pei Chuiying. She is looking for death. She makes Pei Chuiying spin around. Oh my god, she is so brave. Pei Chuiying's face is so ugly. She lost to a bumpkin. Pei Chuiying is so pitiful, she was tricked. Chinese people are indeed cunning and cunning. Pei Chuiying listened to the whispers of others, furious and murderous. Kono reminded her that this was a Sotheby's auction in full view of the public. Miss Gu Si stood in front of Pei Chuiying, calm and domineering. Pei Chuiying, I also want to tell you this. You can't take away my favorite things, and you can't touch my man either. Zhou Jinjin almost clapped her hands, her scalp was numb with joy. Seeing Pei Chuiying furious, she wanted to go out and set off fireworks. Okay, very good. Pei Chuiying's eyes were full of evil, and she walked away with a puff of her sleeves. Gu Si took Zhou Jinjin and the agent to pay and register. She gained a lot just in case. Gu Si called Li Zhang and asked her to send someone to her artwork. Pei Chuiying became distraught and crazy. Who knows what he would do? Art is priceless and cannot be destroyed. Li Zhang originally sent a team of people to watch Gu Si in the auction house. After receiving the call, he came over in person. When Pei Chuiying saw Li Zhang bringing people here, his face became even more ugly than ever before. Kono said, Miss, there is no need to waste time with her. If you don't like her, I will kill her. No, Pei Chuiying sneered, the show hasn't even begun yet. It would be too easy for her to die. Gu Si couldn't put it down and stroked the famous Sukla piano. She became the owner of this piano again. Her hands were disabled in her last life, so it was impossible to be a professional violinist and she couldn't lift heavy objects. However, she could play a small piece every now and then, but she could not a problem. She had low self-esteem and was withdrawn. At first, she was unwilling to touch musical instruments and was almost insulated from the violin. Until her birthday, Lu Ziwen gave her this famous violin. Violin players cannot refuse such a famous violin. This instrument is the white moonlight of all violinists. With this piano, she occasionally played the violin and immersed herself in her own world, pretending that all the hardships had never happened. When she saw this piano, Gu Si was determined to get it. Miss Gu Si, you are so smart, you were able to this piano away from Pei Chuying Li Zhang rainbow fart. Li Zhang originally thought that Gu Si would definitely lose. The secret guards broadcast their bidding almost all the time, but Gu Si didn't take a piece of art from Pei Chuying's hand. Gu Si said, she is very conceited. If I only focus on Su Klo's famous piano tonight, she will definitely not let me go. But if I bid with her from the beginning and keep losing to her, she will be mentally disturbed. There will be a sense of superiority and pride that defeats me. Once people are proud, they will miss the judgment. In addition, all the items she took tonight are beyond the value. She doesn't like violins, so she doesn't have to get them and smash them. In my hand, I will naturally not compete with the people behind me, as long as the person bidding is a stranger. Si Bao, you are so smart, this woman is really sick. Zhou Jinjin mocked, I'm spending a lot of money to compete with you, you're crazy. Li Zhang secretly thought, that's not to say, the huge sum of money in Zhou Jinjin's eyes may be just pocket change in Pei Chuying's eyes. Li Zhang said, the third master originally arranged for someone to take pictures of this piano. Gu Si was stunned, he wants to take pictures. Li Zhang realized that he had spilled the beans, so he had to say, yes. At first he sent someone to keep an eye on the piano, but then you and Pei Chuying wanted to bid, and he gave up. Gu Si's face changed slightly. Li Zhang went through the words in his mind and suddenly broke out in a cold sweat. He wanted to slap himself in the face for talking too much. If Pei Chuying wants to compete with Gu Si, Pei Chuying must be strong, and Miss Gu Si will definitely lose. If the third master gives up, doesn't it mean that he is on Pei Chuying's side? Li Zhang said hurriedly, Miss Gu Si, don't get me wrong, the third master really doesn't love Pei Chuying, he is here to protect you. Gu Si smiled lightly and said indifferently, please help me send these artworks away. Don't worry, I will send you home safely. Li Jiang's back was numb from Gu Si's indifferent eyes. He would definitely not talk too much about the third master's affairs next time. After Gu Si returned to the hotel, she took a comfortable bath and posted the items for today's auction in the group. The old lady and old man of the Zhang family were very happy. They praised her repeatedly and asked her to take more artworks. The old man even slapped her come over with some money. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 203. Chapter 203. Father and son don't know each other when they meet. Gu Si, Grandpa, I am rich. Old man, my grandpa gave me the pocket money. Christmas is coming soon. I want to buy something I like. Gu Si, thank you, Grandpa. The old man took the lead. Both Zhang Minghua, his wife, and the old lady gave Gu Si a sum of money. Gu Si couldn't laugh or cry. After these things were dealt with, Gu Ziu also came back. The boy was very unhappy when you had a cold face. Gu Si asked, are you hungry? Gu Ziu didn't speak, and Gu Si was confused. Was the mission not going well? She couldn't ask any more questions. When Gu Ziu came out of the shower, he still didn't say a word. Was Gu Si even more confused? Ziu is not a person who takes his work emotions home. Ziu, what's wrong? Gu Ziu pursed his lips and suddenly grinned. Gu Si discovered that Ziu's two front teeth were missing, the teeth are gone. His speech was leaky and could hardly be heard clearly. Gu Si, Mom, don't laugh. Gu Ziu huddled under the quilt, I'm angry. Goosey Eye burst out laughing, and when she spoke a long sentence, the blurred air became more serious. It was rare for Goosey Eye to see her son in such an embarrassing state, and she was overjoyed. One of the front teeth is missing, and if you chant the fixed tones, the air leaks. If two front teeth are missing, the air leakage is really terrible. Goosey Eye laughed so hard that she dragged him out of the quilt and said, "Come, Mom, take a look." Goosey's ears were red and he was very shy. He was a bit ugly himself and refused to open his mouth. Goosey Eye said, "Be good, come and take a look at it. The teeth are not clean when they fall out, and the teeth are not good when they grow back." Goosey opened his mouth reluctantly, and Goosey Eye checked his teeth. "I think it will take another week to fall out. Why did it fall out all of a sudden? When you eat an apple, you take one bite and then it falls." Goosey was depressed. French apples are too hard. Goosey Eye secretly thought, "Your front teeth are so loose and you are chewing apples, how come they don't fall out? Does it hurt?" "It doesn't hurt, just a little bleeding." "What about your teeth?" Goosey said, "Chen Fei said that when he was growing his teeth in the countryside when he was a child, his grandma said that the fallen baby teeth should be thrown high, so that the teeth can grow big and white, so I threw them on the eaves of the museum." Goosey Eye: "Awesome. You have two rotten teeth, shamed on the eaves of a Paris museum." Okay, don't be angry, it's very common for children to lose their teeth, it happens to everyone. Your dad also lost two front teeth at that time, I also lost two front teeth, and they grew back in half a year." Goosey: "You lost your teeth, haven't you eaten yet?" Goosey was in no mood and really hadn't eaten yet. Goosey Eye said, "Change your clothes. Mom will take you out for a supper. The baby is growing, so he can't be hungry." "All right." Goosey changed his clothes and after talking to Chen Fei, Goosey Eye took him out for a supper. Chen Fei quietly hid 10 meters behind them without disturbing the mother and son. "The stadium is next door, do you want to have a late night snack with Dad?" Goosey asked. He hadn't seen Lu Ziwen for a long time, and he still missed him awkwardly. The hotel is only 2 streets away from the racing track. It's really not far away. Goosey Eye hasn't seen Lu Ziwen for a while, and she misses him like crazy. The third master and the third young master have similar memories. If Zio meets the third master, he calls Daddy. Lu Ziwen will definitely ask. The game is coming soon and the schedule is during the day, so it is inevitable that he will be distracted. In the last race of the year for Formula 1, Goosey Eye said, "Baby, wait until after the race." Okay. The hotel provides late-night snacks. Goosey Eye took a look at the menu and found that Zio didn't like it. Goosey didn't like Western food, so she wrote a review and found a Chinese restaurant, which was still open. Fen branch, in the food court, there was quite a lot of customers. They were in a foreign country. Goosey Eye and Zio didn't wear masks. They sat casually in the open air and ordered some late-night snacks. Goosey Eye ordered a bowl of fried noodles, seafood porridge, a few skewers of barbecued meat and side dishes. Goosey asked pitifully, "Mom, my teeth have fallen out, can I drink soda?" Goosey Eye. She ruthlessly refused Ziu's request. Her new teeth were about to grow, so naturally she couldn't indulge him. Goosey sighed, "Hey, the seafood porridge is no longer fragrant." Goosey Eye couldn't laugh or cry, and accompanied Goosey to eat supper. Goosey Eye looked back at the table of people, frowned slightly, and sent a text message to Chen Fei. Goosey asked, "Mom, what's wrong?" "Someone has been with Mom all day." Goosey Eye chuckled and said, "It's okay." "Who is following you?" Goosey frowned, "Did Dad send someone to protect you?" "Maybe, Li Jiang sent people to follow her, not this group, most of them were Pei Chuying's people." Pei Chuying was quite patient and didn't know what he wanted to do. "Mom." Goosey blinked, a little embarrassed. "Really, Gu Ziu, a big boss, has never been so embarrassed in all his years. I'm a bit poor. Gu Ci raised her eyebrows and asked, how much do you want? Gu Ziu bit into a shrimp and raised his chubby hand. Gu Ci was surprised, 50 million. If you don't think about it, why don't you add a zero? Gu Ziu said cleverly and mischievously, you don't spend money either, so why not spend it on me? Mother has a lot of money but no material desires. He is quite short of money. What do you need so much money for? There was a sum of money for equipment that was refused to be approved. The old man went to find someone to approve the money every day, and he lost his temper. Gu Ziu said unhappily, we might as well do it ourselves, why bother asking others? Gu Ci took a bite of a bunch of beef and said with a chuckle, how about you say hello to Uncle Chen first about this? You agree? If he has no problem, I'll be okay. Okay. Gu Ci looked at Ziu's smile and felt comfortable and relieved. Her precious son had become a completely different person when he first came here. Knowing that Ji-sun had a stomachache, she would give Ji-sun pumpkin porridge. Seeing that Chen Liangdong is anxious about money, he will raise money for him. Very nice. Mom, my dad. Gu Ziu had sharp eyes. After seeing Li Zhang, he moved his eyes back and saw Lu Ziwen. Lu Ziwen seemed to be going somewhere. Before he got in the car, he saw Gu Ci and Gu Ziu meeting each other. Li Zhang got into the car without looking sideways, waved to them, got in the car and left together. Mom, is he ignoring us? Gu Ziu frowned displeased. Gu Ci chuckled, maybe I didn't see it. He saw them, and Li Zhang waved to us. Gu Ziu was unhappy. Li Zhang saw them, how dare he not mention it? Gu Ci said, eat and leave him alone. Mom, this is what a man is, a model of a man who wants to get promoted, get rich, kill his wife, and not have any children. A cute little boy like me is more loyal to you. Gu Ziu pulls Lu Ziwen down all the time. Gu Ci couldn't help laughing, yes, my mother likes Ziu the most. Gu Ziu felt comfortable all over, and glanced at the direction Lu Ziwen left, frowning slightly. Dad's trip at night was really high standard, and in a foreign country, does a racing driver need such a strict security team? End of this chapter. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 204. Chapter 204. A sudden attack. There is a game tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. He is not training. What is he doing in a suit and tie at night? Gu Ci's cell phone clicked, and Zhou Jinjin sent a text message, wanting to come to the door, but Gu Ci replied that she was having a midnight snack. Zhou Jinjin, if you don't call me when you go out for a late night snack, you don't love me anymore. After Gu Ci sent her location, she asked her to come over. It only took 10 minutes to walk. She ordered another seafood porridge and fried noodles, which was enough to eat when Zhou Jinjin came over. You actually abandoned me and didn't even take me for midnight snacks. You don't eat after 8 o'clock, remember? Gu Ci pushed the seafood porridge over. It depends on who you eat with. Zhou Jin enjoyed his late night snack. Young man, why don't you talk? Gu Ziu had a flat mouth and continued to drink porridge. Zhou Jinjin had sharp eyes and asked, did your front tooth fall out? Gu Ci couldn't hold back his joy no matter which pot he didn't open or lift. Yes, he is losing his teeth and his speech is leaking. Zhou Jinjin was very happy. Xiao Yu, do you have the baggage of being an idol? Yes, Gu Ziu said angrily. A few people were having late night snacks when they suddenly saw a blue car speeding towards the car at a very fast speed, as if out of control, and crashed into the Chinese restaurant, because this Chinese restaurant had the best business outside this food street. Ziu, stop eating. Gu Ci pulled Gu Ziu up. Jinjin, get up and run. The car was traveling extremely fast and crashed into them. Gu Ci had already pulled Gu Ziu and hid in a nearby building. Chen Fei also came over and immediately protected Ziu. Gu Ci said, "You protect Jinjin." She pulled Ziyu and ran forward as hard as she could. Chen Fei also pulled Zhou Jinjin's wrist and found shelter in a building. The car hit the glass window of the Chinese restaurant, shattering the glass. The customers panicked and fled everywhere. A few pieces of glass even splashed at Gu Ci's feet. The crowd screamed and ran away. The car was smoking. Several customers were injured and fell to the side. People thought the vehicle had lost control and hurriedly gathered around to rescue them. Zhou Jinjin was in shock. "Wow, it's so scary." He was driving under the influence of drugs or drunk, and he injured so many people. Chen Fei is a special soldier and has a sense of justice in his bones. "I'll go over and help." "Stop," Gu Ci frowned. An out-of-control car rushed into a crowded Chinese restaurant. This scene looked too much like a terrorist attack. As soon as Gu Ci finished speaking, a violent explosion suddenly occurred in front of him. Both Gu Ci and Chen Fei reacted very quickly. Gu Ci hugged Gu Ziu and rolled to the side, pressing him under him. Chen Fei also pressed Zhou Jinjin under his body. The fire from the explosion shot up into the sky and surrounded the car. All the people who were rescued were blown away. An arm was blown down in front of Zhou Jinjin's eyes, splattering blood on her face. Zhou Jinjin had never seen such a scene before and screamed, "Ah!" Chen Fei covered her eyes. His broad palms were as safe as his own. "Don't be afraid." Zhou Jinjin was shaking all over. Gu Ci looked back at the tragic scene of the explosion. She was shocked and stunned. Then she heard the gunfire, and Chen Fei also heard it. "Spread out, stop watching, and find a place to hide." Chen Fei shouted loudly in English. Gu Ci pulled Gu Ziu and ran forward. First there were sporadic gunshots, then a burst of intensive gunfire, and bullets flying randomly. "Run," Gu Ci shouted. "Chen Fei, protect Jinjin, and hide quickly." A group of masked tall men got out of a van and opened fire indiscriminately, treating human lives like ants. This was the busiest time of the night market. How many people came out to eat late-night snacks? There were so many people on the street. A dozen people were shot down instantly. Rivers of blood flowed. The screams and gunshots were mixed together in a frightening way. The people who were shot fell to the ground and screamed. They were lying on the ground, still trying to find a shelter. 8 men were walking and shooting at the same time, shooting indiscriminately. Everyone was looking for a place to hide. Gu Ci hugged Gu Ziu and hid behind a pillar. In a panic, Chen Fei and Zhou Jinjin hid under the flower bed. The person was almost lying on the ground. The bullet hit the other side of the flower bed, gravel flew. Chen Fei covered Zhou Jinjin's mouth. Gu Ci wrapped Gu Ziu in her arms. The bullet hit the pillar. A piece of gravel flew past Gu Ci's arm and scratched her down jacket. Gu Ci covered Ziu's ears. In her sight, 2 men and women were running forward on the street. The woman fell to the ground after being shot. The man was still alive and ran forward, with blood trailing all over the ground. It was already on earth. Zhou Jinjin trembled all over and hugged Chen Fei out of fear. The man wearing a mask had already fired at the area where Chen Fei and Zhou Jinjin were. Chen Fei had been listening to their footsteps, holding a gun in one hand, waiting silently for an opportunity. When the man discovered that they were hiding, when she was in the flower bed, Zhou Jinjin saw the black muzzle pointing at her. Her beauty turned pale. "Ah!" The man wearing a mask was about to shoot. Chen Fei held the barrel of the gun. After deflecting the muzzle, he fired a blank shot. Chen Fei pointed the pistol at his head and shot him in the head. This scene happened vividly in front of Zhou Jinjin's eyes. Blood splashed on her face. She almost fainted. The man wearing the mask fell to the ground, which also exposed the positions of Zhou Jinjin and Chen Fei. 7 or 8 men surrounded Zhou Jinjin and Chen Fei, wanting to avenge their dead brothers. Gu Ci took a deep breath. hugged Ziyu and hid it, no matter what happens, don't come out. Mom, don't go. Gu Xi took a look. If she didn't take action, neither Jinjin nor Qianfei would survive. Don't be afraid. Mom loves Ziyu and will not leave Ziyu behind. Gu Xi rolled on the ground and rolled to the side of the body as fast as lightning. He picked up his spear, knelt on one knee, raised the gun, took aim, and shot at the men who were surrounding him. One of them was hit in the thigh. Gu Xi a burst of fire forced them to seek shelter. Qianfei was stunned, hum. Zhou Jinjin, hum. He is so handsome, my treasure. After being shocked, Qianfei quickly stuck his head out and showed the agility and ability of a special forces soldier. Under Gu Xi's fire cover, he hit 3 men. Gu Xi held the gun and hid in another flower bed, just within Gu Xiu's line of sight. With the attackers covering each other, the firepower almost penetrated the flower bed, and Gu Xi couldn't lift her head. Gu Xi held her head, hiding under the flower bed, but not afraid at all. Qianfei showed his head and fired a few more shots. The masked men were furious and seemed to be talking to each other. The sound of sirens and ambulances kept ringing. They pulled their injured companions and quickly got into the van and left, leaving only a tragic scene with rivers of blood. Gu Xi breathed a sigh of relief and threw away the gun. Seeing that Ziyu was safe, she ran towards the nearest woman who was shot. The woman was shot in the abdomen. Gu Xi took a look at the wound. It should not have hurt her vitals. She took the woman, he held her scarf and pressed her wound. Press the wound, don't panic, take a deep breath, the ambulance will be here soon. The woman's face turned pale. Am I going to die? Please give me a monthly pass at the end of the month. End of this chapter. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 205. Chapter 205. Who I like has nothing to do with you. No, Gu Xi took her hand, pressed it on the scarf, and went to check on another injured person who was lying down. He died on the spot. Gu Xi went to look at the next injured person. Many of them had professional first aid capabilities like her. Men and women automatically joined the rescue team. Qianfei sent Zhou Jinjin to Gu Xiu. He had the ability to provide first aid, but he could not leave Gu Xiu. Gu Xiu took a look at the tragic situation on the street. It was a mess after the terrorist attack, with wounded people everywhere and rivers of blood. Qianfei, go to the rescue, I can take care of myself. Qianfei glanced at him and said, okay. He also ran to the rescue quickly. Gu Xi shuttled among the injured. If she could save them, she gave first aid desperately. If she couldn't save them, she made a phone call for her and told her family about hospice care for the last time. But there were too many injured, and in the night, Gu Xi's face was also covered with a shadow. It was so cruel. Zhou Jinjin was still in shock. He held Gu Xiu's hand and looked at Qianfei and Gu Xi in the smoke. Suddenly he felt that there seemed to be a kind of light on them, which was powerful and safe. Gu Xi was covered in sweat, and her hands and clothes were stained with blood, but she still kept saving everyone. The lives of everyone she could save, regardless of nationality or skin color, were all saved. Until the ambulance and police car arrived and took over the scene, Gu Xi saw bloodstains, fragments, and wreckage on the ground. Her eyes were gloomy and hurt. The injured were in pain. They were survivors of the disaster, and they were also mourning the loss of their colleagues. Similar incidents have occurred frequently in Europe. In the news, how many people were injured and how many people died are just a cold set of numbers, without such a direct impact. Qianfei, are you injured? Zhou Jinjin pointed at the blood on Qianfei's arm and hurriedly went to check. Qianfei was scratched by the debris. He didn't care about any small wounds. It's okay. His tone was heavy, not knowing what to say, mourning this scene. Luckily, they reacted quickly and left early. At the moment of the explosion, they all fell to the ground. Apart from scratches and minor injuries, they were nothing serious. Get out of here first, someone has taken over the scene, and Gu Ci takes them away together, back to the hotel. The hotel was very close to the scene of the incident, and a bunch of people were taking refuge in the hotel. When they saw them coming back, the hotel staff cared about their injuries and helped contact the hospital. Gu Ci and Chen Fei declined, and just wanted to go upstairs to rest. In addition to the blood stains on Gu Ci's body, there was also the smell of gunpowder smoke. Zhou Jinjin followed Chen Fei away. I'll help him take care of his injuries. Okay, Gu Ci washed her hands, changed into clean clothes, threw the clothes into the trash can, and took a simple hot shower to wash away the dust and blood. Such a big thing cannot be suppressed. The accident happened in a Chinese restaurant, and next to the stadium, a bunch of people from all over the world came to watch the racing competition. They gathered outside the stadium. This time, half of the injured were Chinese. It quickly became a hot search topic in China. Tomorrow and the day after tomorrow are all about competitions, but when a terrorist attack occurs, everyone feels very heavy. Outside, it was Li Zhang who called to ask about Gu Zi's situation. Young master, thank God, you are not here. Miss Gu Ci has returned to the hotel, right? We're on the scene. What? Li Zhang was shocked. Just as he was about to ask something, Gu Zi said, my mother and I are fine. We are back at the hotel. I will die if everything is fine. Gu Ci wiped her hair and came out. Her mood had calmed down. Whose phone number is it? Li Zhang. Gu Zi put down his cell phone. Mom, come and apply some medicine. A little scratch. Gu Ci chuckled and rolled up her sleeves. Even the slight scratch on her arm stopped bleeding. Gu Zi was still after meticulously disinfecting and applying medicine. Gu Ci touched her son's head and said, my baby is so good. Mom, are they coming for us? Gu Zi asked suddenly. Gu Ci was startled and said softly, Ziu, this is an unexpected event, no one could have expected it. Gu Ci recalled the scene in the smoke just now. In the hail of bullets, she seemed to see Lu Ziwen, but through a layer of mist, before she could see clearly, he disappeared again. In a private villa, Lu Ziwen and Pei Chuying were discussing cooperation. Pei Chuying looked very bad tonight, but he did not dare to show any emotion in front of Lu Ziwen. Pei Chuying poured him a glass of wine and said, Third master, let's talk while drinking. Lu Ziwen was not interested in drinking, and he didn't touch the glass. Suddenly, he felt choked. He got up and left, went to the bathroom, and closed the door. Pei Chuying didn't mind either. Pei Chuying sipped the wine, gently shook the glass, and smelled the aroma of the wine. Third master, would you be sad if Gu Ci died? There was no answer in the empty living room. After finishing a glass of wine, Lu Ziwen was nowhere to be seen. Pei Chuying glanced at the time and saw that he had been gone for 10 minutes. She was about to send someone to look for him when the phone rang. Pei Chuying answered the phone, her face darkened. Got it? As soon as she hung up the phone, Lu Ziwen came back, with a gloomy face that was almost dripping with water. Pei Chuying came up to him with a smile, I ordered the kitchen to make your favorite. Lu Ziwen grabbed her neck and could break her neck with just a little force. Pei Chuying, do you really think that I dare not kill you? Although Pei Chuying was strangled by him and her life was in his hands, she chuckled and said, Third master, what did I do wrong? Even if I die, I must die to understand. Tonight's terrorist attack, every life is a blood debt you owe. Lu Ziwen's voice was cold, and Lu Ziwen's eyes were terrifyingly cold. Because of your jealousy and lawlessness, countless people died because of you. You are really crazy. Third master, there must be some misunderstanding. I have been discussing things with you. Pei Chuying's eyes turned red. In the eyes of outsiders, the powerful and arrogant young lady of the underworld looked pitiful and carefree in front of Lu Ziwen. "You don't have to do anything." Lu Ziwen threw her away. Pei Chuying fell to the ground and knocked her head on the table, bleeding. When she touched her forehead, she felt a hand of blood. Lu Ziwen said, "You have raised a group of desperate people only." Lu Ziwen turned around and left. Pei Chuying crawled over and hugged his legs. "Third Master, do you want me to leave because of Gu Si? I have always been obedient, please don't leave me." He lowered his head and looked at Pei Chuying. She had always looked up at him and admired him, but Lu Ziwen's eyes were covered with a thin layer of frost. He looked at Pei Chuying condescendingly. Gu Si and Lu Ziwen grew up as childhood sweethearts, and it was him again. "My sweetheart, I have warned you not to touch her, but have you ignored her?" Pei Chuying's eyes were red and she asked him with a smile, "Lu Ziwen loves her dearly, what about you?" "Third Master, do you like her?" "Who I like has nothing to do with you," Lu Ziwen said resolutely, "it will never be you." Impossible. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 206. Chapter 206. The Third Young Master and the Third Master. Pei Chuying shouted crazily, her long seaweed-like hair draped over her round shoulders. "It was you who saved me when the wrong family was trying to kill me, taught me strategies, and provided me with education. For so many years, you have always been accompanying me to make progress together. I want to be the best, you help me clear the obstacles, you give me whatever I want. If you don't like me, why do you have to do this?" Pei Chuying, listen carefully. Lu Ziwen bent down and pinched her chin indifferently. "You are a dog I raised in the extreme realm. You bite wherever I point. The owner loves a dog because of her. Be loyal to the Lord and be obedient. If you continue to be stubborn, I won't mind replacing you. I can praise you, or I can kill you." Pei Chuying felt as if she was struck by lightning. She watched Lu Ziwen strode away. Her guard hurriedly helped her. "Miss." Pei Chuying pushed him away angrily. She stood up and looked at Lu Ziwen, who was slowly leaving the window with sinister eyes. "A dog, it turns out that it's my own fault. Ha 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 ha." Pei Chuying laughed maniacally, laughing until tears came out. "I have been living a life like a pig or a dog for several years. No one can step on me. Whatever I want, I will get it. If I can't get it, I will destroy him. Third Master, you treat me like a dog, ha 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 ha, but do you know? If a dog is cornered, he will bite his owner." Li Zhang saw the blood on Lu Ziwen's clothes and muttered in his heart, "Why did the Third Master get so much blood when he went in to talk to Pei Chuying?" Li Zhang said softly, "Third Master, I have called the young master and Miss Gu Si. They are at the scene, but they all returned to the hotel safely." "I know." Lu Ziwen closed his eyes to rest. In his mind, the third young master felt as if he had taken a big bite of melon. "Third Master, you have been supporting Pei Chuying. She regards you as the savior. Bai Yueguang, but you regard her as a dog. Why do you want to humiliate her, dog?" "What did the dog do? If something happens to Gu Si and Ziu, I will definitely kill her." "Be quiet," the noise every day gave him a headache. He shouldn't have been angry. As long as he drew a clear boundary with Gu Si, Pei Chuying would definitely restrain himself. Unexpectedly, she would test his bottom line more and more. "You are a real dog," third young master said. "When the wrong family tried to kill her, you saved her and supported her, and then in turn, you tried to kill the wrong family, but you saved wrongly and made him work for you wholeheartedly. This trick has been used for several years without changing the medicine. Now it has backfired." Pei Chuiying can't kill the master now, and he can't let it go. He's riding a tiger and it's hard to get off. Isn't it cool? The third master was silent and silent. San Shao thought for a moment and said, she really loves you. If not, just let her go and don't mess with my goosey eye. Your goosey eye, third master sneered, are you so sure that she will choose you? Third young master sneered and said, remember, you are willing to admit defeat. This is our agreement. If she chooses you, I will never see her again. You must love her well. But if she chooses me, I hope you can do it too. The third master snorted coldly and remained silent. The third young master now knows one thing very clearly in his consciousness. The third young master does not love Pei Chuiying, but if he says that he loves Gu Ci, the third young master always feels that it is more like a task, as if he keeps telling himself that he loves Gu Ci. Porcelain. The third master's feelings for Gu Ci are not as strong as his. Aren't you bored after living for so many years? The third young master put on a heart-to-heart attitude. Who are you? Are you the reincarnation of me in the previous life? I am half of your soul, so you covering me? You can't love Gu Ci. If you get close to Gu Ci, she will become unhappy, so you stay away from her? TV dramas are all played like this. Sainyu remained silent and refused to communicate. Third master, tell me, why did you give Gu Ci a birthday gift? Every year on her birthday, you give her a birthday gift. Why? Are you imitating me? Are you trying to compete with me for favor? Could it be that Gu Ci was your lover in your previous life and was reincarnated in this life, so you secretly love her? Are you mute? Why can you teleport but I can't? Please teach me, it's pretty cool. The third master rubbed his eyebrows. Seeing his rare irritability, Li Zhang breathed lightly and asked the third master, are you feeling unwell? Shut up, Mr. San made a pun. Jiang was as quiet as a chicken, and the car music was turned off. The third young master gloated, Li Zhang is really miserable, but he always talks back to me. Why are he so obedient in front of you? It seems that I am too kind. Third master, can you be quiet for a while? San Shao, no, unless, you also teach me teleportation. The third master took a deep breath and began to be silent. No matter how much the third master muttered, he pretended not to hear. Lu Ziwen returned to the competition center, and the news announcement came out. 58 people were killed and 307 injured in the terrorist attack, and the number is still being counted. The police found the attackers in the city center. They were shot and killed under an overpass. Their faces and license plate models matched the surveillance videos. This was the fastest attack to solve the case. The attackers were all dead, with no one left alive. Pei Chuiying was shocked when she received the news, all dead. Yes, they are all dead. How is it possible? Pei Chuiying said sternly, they were well trained, evacuated in an orderly manner, and had people covering them. How could they all die in a deserted place? We don't know either. We are investigating. Miss, is someone warning us about this? Pei Chuiying instantly thought of Lu Ziwen. Would he kill everyone for Gu Ci? Miss, don't go against the third master again, Kono said seriously. You have known about Gu Ci for a long time, but you have got along well with her. The third master has also indulged you and supported you all the way back to the Ji-Dao. But since if you cause trouble to Gu Ci, the third master will not treat you as well as before, so why should you go against him again? It won't do any good. Pei Chuiying slapped Conway in the face. You also think that I am his dog, so I shouldn't have wishful thinking. Conway knelt on the ground. I didn't mean that. Pei Chuiying threw the cup and said in a cold voice, I will definitely let the third master know that I am the most suitable woman for him. Gu Ci, you will only be proud for 2 more days. She was originally meant to give Gu Ci a blow, not to kill him. Tonight at the auction house, She was angry and wanted to take it out. Unexpectedly, Lu Ziwen called her a dog. Pei Chuying laughed wildly, laughing until tears came out. Zhang Junlin also knew about the terrorist attack and came to the hotel to see Gu Ci and Ziyu. Gu Ziyu was on the phone with Chen Liangdong in the room. Zhang Junlin looked a little angry and said, "You'd better stay at my place. If you want to watch the game, I'll send you and Ziyu." End of this chapter. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 207. Chapter 207 Suspicion breeds ghosts. Gu Ci stayed in the hotel to be closer to the competition and to be able to meet Lu Ziwen. Zhang Junlin's residence was a 40-minute drive from the competition venue. "Brother, I've already booked the room and don't run up and down, I'm fine. Where is Chen Fei?" Gu Ci said softly. "It's unlucky for us to encounter a terrorist attack." Zhang Junlin frowned, and Gu Ci knew in her heart. As she expected, this was not an ordinary attack. Otherwise, her brother's face wouldn't be so ugly. Gu Ci said, "I read in the news that all the attackers are dead." Zhang Junlin nodded, "Yes, the case has been solved. This is very rare. At least, he knew who sent the person, but he didn't know who killed him. The method was clean and neat, leaving no trace. Pei Chuying lost his wife and lost his troops. Brother, you must be very busy when you are here on a business trip." "Don't worry about them," Gu Ci said. She took a gift box. "Brother, on Christmas Day, Ziyu and I may not be able to celebrate your birthday with you, so I will give you a gift in advance." "What is it?" Zhang Junlin chuckled and took the gift. "Take it apart and take a look." Zhang Junlin opened it and found a men's corsage with a chain, like an eagle spreading its wings, inlaid with gems, and one end of the chain was fixed with diamonds. It is a very suitable corsage to be worn on a suit when attending some dinner parties. Zhang Junlin is an expert in details. He likes to match his suits with some small accessories. He likes them at first sight. "I'm interested," he chuckled, accepted the gift, and tried it on. It was the right size, eye-catching, and not overpowering the main event. Gu Ci felt relieved when she saw that he liked her. He would like whatever she gave Lu Ziwen as a gift. This was not necessarily the case for her brother, who was very picky in every aspect. "Brother, how do you celebrate your birthday?" Zhang Junlin doesn't care about birthdays very much. If he is at home, his family will have dinner together. His partners will give him gifts when they know it is his birthday. Zhang Junlin will not hold a birthday party because it is too troublesome. From childhood to adulthood, it is his 18th birthday. It was done in a more grand manner. "Just watch the game and don't worry about it. It's my birthday, it doesn't matter. Then after I finish watching the game, if we have time, Ziyu and I will go find you." "Okay." Zhang Junlin pondered for a moment. "By the way, I heard that you had a fight with Pei Chuying at the auction." Gu Ci raised her eyebrows. "How did this matter reach my brother's ears?" "Pei Chuying is very powerful in Europe and the United States. She loves to collect art and is a frequent visitor to auctions. This is the first time someone has bid with her all night, and the news has spread throughout the circle." "Have I caused trouble for my brother?" Gu Ci asked. Jidao cooperates with Hualan Bank, and Zhang Junlin and Pei Chuying are also old acquaintances. "No trouble," Zhang Junlin said softly. "Whatever you want, just go and take pictures. Don't be afraid of her. It's just, if you're not familiar with the place, don't get into arguments with her. She's a mafia lady who came out of a hail of bullets. He looks kind, but his methods are cruel. If you want anything next time, tell me and he will take pictures for you." "Good." Zhang Junlin stayed with them for a while and then left with the guards. As soon as he got in the car, Zhang Qiang handed him a tablet and said, "Master, this is the surveillance of the attack site. I think you need to take a look." He took the tablet and said calmly, invite Pei Chuying to come to my house. Yes, Zhang Junlin lowered his head and glanced at the tablet. He suddenly narrowed his eyes and slowed down the speed. The camera was right behind Gu Ci and took a clear picture. Gu Ci rolled to the side of the body and swept it up. He lifts the gun, loads it, aims, and fires it all in one go, and his marksmanship is extremely accurate, especially when suppressing fire. He is calm and stable. Is this year's version of the AK-47? Yes, Zhang Qiang said, this year's revision has not yet been circulated on a large scale. Each of these attackers has one. After the revision, although the sophistication of this gun has been improved, its fatal flaw has not been improved. It is easy to drift when shooting continuously. As soon as I got my hands on Miss Porcelain, it seemed like I had touched it 1,000 times before, and it didn't feel like it was the first time I encountered it. Some of it went to the black market in August, and some people had channels to buy it, but absolutely no one in the country had seen it, let alone touched it. Touched, Miss Gu Ci. Zhang Qiang hesitated to speak, but Zhang Junlin already understood what he meant. Gu Ci has no access to the latest version of AK-47. Why does it look like it has been practiced thousands of times? Zhang Junlin thought of Gu Ci's surgery again. Has the monitoring been handled? It was dealt with, Zhang Qiang said. After the incident, I checked the surveillance camera as soon as possible. This section was quite bizarre, so I downloaded it. As soon as I downloaded it, someone also dealt with the nearby surveillance camera. Zhang Junlin nodded and looked at the video. Gu Ci's shooting habits were very standard. Zhang Junlin was silent for a long time. Zhang Qiang, do you think there is such a thing as reviving a dead body in this world? Master, this is impossible, right? Really? Zhang Junlin smiled and deleted the video. It's really interesting. Zhang Qiang's cell phone rang. He answered the call and said that he knew it before hanging up. Master, Pei Chuying is here. Zhang Junlin sneered, I know. In the hotel, Gu Ziyu was having a video conference with Chen Liangdong and Chen Fei. Chen Fei reported what happened today and then went offline. Gu Ziyu and Chen Liangdong talked about the task and the completion was okay. Chen Liangdong wanted him to come back early, but Gu Ziyu wanted to watch the game with Gu Ci and go back after Christmas. Chen Liangdong had originally been approved for leave, but after the terrorist attack, he felt a little uneasy. The situation abroad is turbulent. After watching the game, return home as soon as possible. Chen Liangdong didn't understand. Such a big thing happened and so many people died. Shouldn't the game be cancelled? If it is in China, it will inevitably be cancelled, a moment of silence will be observed, and the flag will be flown at half-mast. Gu Ziyu said, there is no news yet. I read the news from the racing league that the track has not been damaged and the race is about to happen. It should not be cancelled. How inhumane, there were casualties on one side and revelers on the other. Gu Ziyu did not comment on this matter. He talked about another thing. By the way, I raised some money for us. Aren't we short of money for equipment? My sister gave us 500 million. We can use it first. There is no need to go asking for help. Chen Liangdong couldn't help but sigh, it's great to have money. Then it's settled. I disagree. Why? Chen Liangdong said earnestly, if our equipment needs to be updated, it must be approved. Even if they delay, I will find a way to do it. It is absolutely impossible to accept individual donations. Gu Ci donated this time. How will others view me and her? Do you think we have given Gu Ci any benefits? Is this some kind of deal? Who would believe that a person donated 500 million to you for no reason? If this matter is exposed by someone who is interested, if Gu Ci achieves anything in the future, others will, he said, oh, Qiuan was behind it. She gave her 500 million to buy her future. If Gu Ci did anything that crossed the line, she would be criticized. Besides, after donating once, it would set a precedent for us in the future. There are many places asking for money, and they won't approve the funds. Anyway, you have donors who donate. This time it's 500 million, and the next time it's 5 billion? How many times can Gusi donate to ruin a life? People, please give me a monthly pass at the end of the month. End of this chapter. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 208. Chapter 208. Cruel and Cruel Zhang Junlin. Guzio simply wanted to solve an urgent problem, but he didn't expect that there would be so many problems involved. He was not a child who grew up in a group, so naturally he couldn't think so carefully. So complicated. Baby, you are still young, have few contacts with people, and have simple thoughts you will understand in the future. Chen Liangdong said. By the way, did Gusi agree to borrow it? My sister said that if you agree, she will borrow it. Chen Liangdong nodded. Then she is very smart and knew that I would refuse, so she asked me to teach you. Guzio was confused. Why didn't she just say it? Chen Liangdong chuckled and said, for me, you will be more impressed. After all, you and I are in the same system. I understand. Guzio spread his hands. Then there's nothing we can do. Chen Liangdong said. By the way, Chen Fei said, Gusi's marksmanship is quite accurate. Guzio opened his eyes and told lies, especially sincerely, she likes shooting. I see, it's good she saved Chen Fei and also saved many people. What Chen Liangdong admires most is that after the attack, Gusi stayed at the scene for rescue and used her professional knowledge to save many lives. Guzio was also very proud. My sister is very good. In Zhang Junlin's villa, Pei Chuying was already waiting. The housekeeper made tea and was entertaining Pei Chuying. After she changed her clothes, she looked radiant and did not look at all embarrassed in front of Lu Ziwen. Zhang Junlin entered the room. The warmth came and swept away the chill. Zhang Junlin took off his coat and scarf. After the housekeeper took them, he walked inside. Pei Chuying frowned and said, Brother Junlin, it's such a grand event. I'll wait for you for nearly half an hour. Zhang Junlin looked at her indifferently, with a little smile in his eyes. Where did you get angry and come to me to act wild? Pei Chuying sneered, your good sister has been arguing with me at the auction all night. Brother Junlin, you have to discipline her. Otherwise, I will not be gentle or serious when I strike. I'm afraid I will hurt a hair of hers and it will be difficult to reconcile. You explain. The housekeeper poured the tea over at a moderate temperature and placed it in front of Zhang Junlin. He smelled the tea and took a sip. My sister, I can discipline myself. At the auction, you always deliberately tell who has more money and who talks about trouble. Raise the price with her, provoke her, and don't blame her for trying to make you lose face. Brother Junlin, don't forget that we are partners. If Wallen Bank wants to open foreign markets, it needs the help of GDAO, otherwise, you will never be able to open the market in Europe and the United States. Zhang Junlin leaned back and unbuttoned 2 buttons of his shirt with one hand. The ascetic man looked a little more lazy in the night. He asked coldly, Pei Chuying, don't forget, who protects you? I became the head of the Jida and got carried away as soon as I took office. Are you sure, you dare to offend me? Pei Chuying didn't care at all about Zhang Junlin's indifference. After the death of Pei's family, she also lived in a state of embarrassment. Zhang Junlin was kind to her, saving her from fire and water over and over again, and also protecting Pei Chuying. Persecuted by the wrong family, but Zhang Junlin was one step late. Pei Chuying fell in love with Lu Ziwen at first sight. She was so shocked that she wanted to be Lu Ziwen's pawn. She had kept this matter secret from Zhang Junlin and Lu Ziwen. She was very smart and used the help of both parties to win the GDAO as quickly as possible. During this process, Lu Ziwen had no plans, but Zhang Junlin also contributed a lot indispensable. Now, She has firmly sat on the throne of the Lord of the ultimate way. The cunning rabbit dies, the running dogs are cooked, the enemy country is destroyed, the planner is forgotten, and the one who has made great achievements will not be rewarded. This is the art of the emperor, and it is the same in every dynasty. Pei Chuiying is no longer afraid of Zhang Junlin. Brother Junlin, our families are family friends, and we almost got engaged. I have always respected you. Once I was a homeless orphan, and you were the proud one. But don't forget, now, I am the supreme leader. Lord. Zhang Junlin raised the corners of his lips, and a thin cold enveloped him, with an indescribable depth. So, you sent someone to pretend to be a terrorist attack, and you want to take advantage of the chaos to kill my sister. Pei Chuiying panicked. You how do you know? Zhang Junlin covered the teacup, and there was a crisp sound of bone china. Zhang Qiang and a group of guards quickly aimed their guns at Pei Chuiying's guards. When she came to see Zhang Junlin, she brought 4 people with her, and Zhang Qiang took them all with her. The people were under control, and the only guard at the door was asked to go out by Zhang Qiang with a gun pointed at his head. Pei Chuiying fell into an isolated and helpless situation, and was at war with each other. Zhang Junlin, how dare you? She got up angrily. I am the master of the extreme. Zhang Junlin was sitting firmly on the sofa, wearing glasses, looking lazy and dark. He was holding a cup of black tea and sipping the tea elegantly. He seemed not to notice Pei Chuiying's frustration. This kind of ignorance gave him a strong sense of shock. Brother Junlin, everyone knew before I came to your house. So what? Zhang Junlin sneered and took a sip of black tea. I will kill you just like killing a chicken. Pei Chuiying said forcefully, I bet you, I don't dare. Zhang Junlin put down the teacup and crossed his legs, looking even more lazy and domineering. Pei Chuiying seemed to know him for the first time. Zhang Junlin pushed up his glasses with 2 fingers. There is nothing in this world that I dare not do. Pei Chuiying, I will help you up with one hand. I need a puppet. If the puppet doesn't behave, just kill it, and I won't allow you to bite back. Are you crazy? Pei Chuiying shouted. Shh, Zhang Junlin put his index finger to his lips, and a cold light flashed across his lens. Don't make any noise, dead people should be quiet. Pei Chuiying did not expect that Zhang Junlin, who had close contact with her, would dare to put her to death here. For Gu Si, the third master warned her that Zhang Junlin also wanted her to die. Pei Chuiying laughed, ha 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 ha, Zhang Junlin, if I die, your whole family will be buried with me. Scaring me, Zhang Junlin chuckled. He stretched out his hand and Conway brought him a tablet. Zhang Junlin clicked on a screen and threw it in front of Pei Chuiying. See for yourself. Pei Chuiying clicked on it and saw that it was the killer she had arranged for the Zhang family. You should never touch my family, Zhang Junlin said in a cold voice. I am not Han Xian, and you are not Lu Bang. Pei Chuiying was frightened and finally realized that Zhang Junlin was serious. He would really kill her. Pei Chuiying was upset. She had just secured her position as the leader of the extreme world and wanted to clear the obstacles. She should not have been too hasty and came to Zhang Junlin's house. You shouldn't only bring 4 people. Zhang Junlin said casually. Zhang Qiang, drag him out, don't dirty my carpet. Yes. Zhang Junlin, how dare you? Pei Chuiying shouted sharply. Indoors, a familiar voice came from upstairs. Mr. Zhang, no matter how angry you are, you still have to show mercy to her. Why should you shout to kill her? You're scaring the beauty. Zhang Junlin raised his head, narrowed his eyes and looked at Ji Sun on the 2nd floor. His voice was cold. Uncle Guang, why is he here? End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 209. Chapter 209 Mr. Zhang is jealous. Uncle Guang, the housekeeper, broke into a cold sweat and hurriedly came over and said, "Young master, young master Ji-sun came to see you and was sleeping in your bedroom waiting for you." I thought he told you." "Ji-sun, save me," Pei Chuying shouted. Ji-sun walked downstairs slowly. Pei Chuying ran behind him and tightly grasped Ji-sun's sleeves, like a daughter flower seeking protection. The heating was turned on in the room. Ji Xian wore thin clothes when sleeping. 3 buttons of his shirt were opened and exposed to his chest. He looked lazy and sexy. Zhang Junlin glanced at Pei Chuying's hand and sneered, "So, you know each other." Ji Huan looked back at Pei Chuying and said, "Let go, don't hold on so hard, Mr. Zhang is jealous." Pei Chuying was startled and relaxed his hand, as if he still couldn't understand what Ji Sun meant. Ji Huan brushed the non-existent dust on his sleeves and said calmly, "Mr. Zhang, I want to take this man away, but you can't kill him." "What if I have to kill him?" Zhang Junlin asked. Ji Sun sighed, "Then there's no other way, just step over my body." Zhang Junlin looked at him indifferently, "Zhang Jiang, kill them all." No one expected that Mr. Jiang's true feelings were just love and desires, and that he showed no mercy at all. Zhang Jiang was also startled and didn't know what to do for a moment. Ji Xian put his hand on Zhang Junlin's side and leaned over, "Mr. Zhang, I also obey orders, don't embarrass me." Zhang Junlin looked at his beautiful face indifferently. Ji Sun kissed Zhang Junlin's ear in front of everyone, "Next time, I will serve Mr. Zhang better." "Get out," Zhang Junlin lowered his voice. Ji Sun stood up, looked at Pei Chuying, and said calmly, "Let's go." Pei Chuying looked at Zhang Junlin cautiously. He didn't look away, with his hands folded on his abdomen. His face was solemn and unhappy. Pei Chuying followed Ji Sun and left. As soon as they left, Zhang Junlin's tense mood relaxed. "Uncle Guang, when did he come?" "It came in the evening," Uncle Guang said. "Young master, I'm sorry, I was negligent in my duty." "It's a small matter, don't take it to heart," Zhang Junlin said lightly. There was the sound of a car outside the door, and Ji Sun and Pei Chuying left. Zhang Junlin stood in front of the window on the second floor. A video came over and Dr. North's face appeared on the wall. "Jideo, we need to change someone," Zhang Junlin spoke concisely and to the point. Dr. North said, "You have always made the decision in this matter." Zhang Junlin leaned back in the chair. He took off his eyes, revealing a pair of smiling eyes that could not hide his sharpness. "Who should I replace? What do you think of Gu Si?" Zhang Junlin's eyes lost their smile. "What, you want to learn from Pei Chuying and me to balance each other?" "I don't dare," Dr. North was slightly frightened. After taking a deep breath, she said, "Xiao Ci is my personal descendant. I will not harm her. Besides Xiao Ci, who else can you trust? You know what I'm suspecting." "I know," Dr. North said, "you suspect that Black Eagle's third master is Lu Ziwen. You put Xiao Ci in Jideo. First, you trust him. Second, you can contain Black Eagle. In addition, Ziyu is in Guoan. There is no better candidate than her." "Qin Yunsang," Zhang Junlin called her name indifferently, "I think Qin Wan is more suitable. And he is from your Pei family, so he is better than Xiao Ci. What do you think?" Dr. North's face turned pale, fear filled his eyes. "I'm sorry, I made a mistake." In the villa late at night, there was a sound of landing, only the cold wind outside the window kept blowing. After Dr. North fell silent, he raised his head and said, "Master, what if Xiaosai is willing? I allow you to get close to Xiaosai, because Xiaosai needs you." Zhang Junlin was cold and ruthless, "You are hiding in prison. I won't be naive enough to think that everything can be wiped out in a few years, right? Dr. North never dreamed that the person she wanted to save was Jang Junlin's grandmother. When she saw Jang Junlin outside the operating room of the hospital, she knew that she would not die soon. Therefore, she grabbed Gu Si as a life-saving straw. If Jang Junlin had been less fond of Gu Si, she would have died in the countryside. She betrayed Jang Junlin back then, and Jang Junlin survived, so he knew that her death was not far away. Going round and round, she returned to Jang Junlin's staff. "Master, I will never betray you again," Dr. North said. Jang Junlin sneered, "Really? You have known for a long time that Qinwan is my daughter, but you have never angered her. Back then, I was the heart of a villain and the belly of a gentleman. I escaped from a cage and did not want to be restrained anymore." Dr. North said softly, "You are different from Chen Gang, I misunderstood. Qin Yunsang, if you cure Xiaosai, the past will be wiped out." Dr. North's heart has been hanging for several months, and it finally came to an end. From the time she was released from prison to today, she finally heard Jang Junlin's promise, "Yes, I understand." After being silent for a few seconds, she still insisted, "I think Xiaosai is really suitable. You can think about it again." Jang Junlin raised his hand to hang up the video, and a thin layer of sweat broke out on Dr. North's back. Fortunately, Jang Junlin loved Gu Si, and she managed to save her life. Jang Junlin is cruel and ruthless, but he has a fatal weakness. He is very defensive, and his family is his weakness. But Pei Chuying is really in cahoots with Black Eagle, and it would not be easy for Jang Junlin to replace her. Black Eagle's third master is not a vegetarian, and there will be a life and death struggle between them. After Jang Junlin hung up the phone, he asked Zhang Qiang for Lu Ziwen's schedule and information about all the drivers. Zhang Qiang didn't know why, but he suddenly became interested in racing. Zhang Qiang asked, "Master, do you want to watch the game?" "Order it for me." Zhang Junlin thought for a moment, "Forget it, I'll just ask Xiaosai for it." "Yes." Zhang Junlin flipped through the driver's information and fixed his eyes on Lu Ziwen. He raised his head and asked Zhang Qiang, if I want Lu Ziwen to die quietly in the race without arousing Xiaosai's suspicion?" Zhang Junlin clicked on the information and asked, "Which of these drivers can drive for me?" Zhang Qiang was startled and lowered his head in Zhang Junlin's cold eyes, "I'll do it right away. Go." Early the next morning, the accurate list of the attack came out, and 16 more people were added to the death list. Due to poor treatment, several seriously injured patients passed away. After this horrific attack, the F1 annual race was not postponed and was held as scheduled. Held in one day, qualifying and the race will all be completed in one day. After a meeting and discussion all night long, the Federation of Automobile Manufacturers decided to hold it as scheduled. Gu Si was very surprised. When she saw the report, it was incredible. So many people died and the race continued. Will she be scolded? Sure enough, I am not a racing fan, so I was full of curses on the official website. The place where the attack occurred is right next to the venue. Firstly, the paving of the venue is not affected. Secondly, the postponement will increase the financial burden. Many fans come from all over the world to watch the game. Thirdly, the attackers are all dead. End of this chapter. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 210. Chapter 210 Lu Ziwen, I want to take you home. It's really not cancelled. Zhou Jinjin's mood was complicated, I'm happy and sad at the same time. Gu Si was in a heavy mood, but her eyelids kept twitching, always feeling that something was going to happen. If such a big thing happened before the game, why didn't the game be cancelled? It's indeed inappropriate to race at this time, Gu Si said softly, but this was decided by the racing union, and ordinary people could not interfere. After the race was held as scheduled, there was a lot of criticism, and it became the least expected race. As a result, many spectators returned their tickets in protest, but the racing league went its own way and still held the competition. When Gu Xi received a call from Zhang Junlin and wanted a ticket, Gu Xi asked Li Zhang. Li Zhang gave her several tickets. Tickets for this kind of event should be hard to come by, but due to various factors, many people cancelled their tickets. Gu Xiu said, "When did uncle become interested in racing?" Gu Xi spread her hands and said, "Come with us to see it." Qualifying is held at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and the third practice session ends from 10 to 11 in the morning. Gu Xi, Zhou Jinjin, Gu Xiu, and Chen Fei went to watch the practice match early in the morning. The audience was much smaller than usual. This attack still cast a shadow of death on the match. Gu Xi took a look at the weather. Although it was very cold, the visibility was still very good. The practice race does not count points, it is just a training race. Lu Ziwen was ranked 5th and did not exert his strength because there was a problem with the front wing and he deliberately slowed down. The car entered the station for inspection, and Lu Ziwen was also discussing the replacement with the team. Gu Xi's eyelids jumped when he saw it, and Zhou Jinjin said, "It's okay, it's okay, it's okay." Gu Xiu took a look at the weather and decided to finish the competition early and go home early. After the practice session, qualifying started at 1 o'clock to compete for the starting order. After Gu Xi and others had lunch, Zhang Junlin came to join them. Several people were in the stands together, waiting for the game. Although the number of spectators was a little small, it did not affect the atmosphere of the scene. Everyone was very concerned about this top-level event. Gu Xi quietly sent a text message to Lu Ziwen. "Gu Xi, third brother, can I meet you before the game?" Lu Ziwen, "What are you doing?" Gu Xi, "I want to see you." Lu Ziwen, "Didn't you see it in the stands?" Gu Xi, "Doesn't count." Lu Ziwen, "Li Zhang will pick you up, and I will come alone." Gu Xi, "Okay." Gu Xi made an excuse to go to the bathroom, and Gu Xiu said, "I'll definitely go there for half an hour." Zhang Junlin rubbed Xiu's head, seeing through it without revealing it. Then he frowned and asked Gu Xiu, "Why are you talking so much that your front teeth are missing?" Gu Xiu closed his mouth shyly and refused to speak any more. Chen Fei suppressed his laughter and did not dare to laugh at him. When Gu Xi saw Lu Ziwen, he was in the backstage lounge. There was still an hour of racing left, and he took a 20-minute break. He was wearing a black and red racing suit. The bright, and flamboyant design was among all the racers. Even more outstanding, Gu Xi recognized Lu Ziwen at a glance and felt that even though he was wearing a helmet, he was attracted by the crowd. Everyone was wearing a helmet, and the foreign racers were tall and powerful. He is also the most eye-catching presence among the crowd. "This racing suit is so beautiful, I've never seen it before," Gu Xi praised. "We haven't seen each other for so long, and you start to praise your clothes." Lu Ziwen's lips twitched. Gu Xi said with red ears, "I was afraid that you would ignore me and praise the clothes to look natural and not embarrassed." They haven't seen each other since he went abroad. Gu Xi occasionally sends him some daily messages. He is busy with training and deliberately keeps a distance in his heart so as not to affect Gu Xi's choice, so he rarely replies to her. Lu Ziwen couldn't help laughing. Gu Xi looked at him with clean eyes and innocence. "Third brother, I want to hug you." "Oh." Lu Ziwen hesitated, unable to figure out what Gu Xi meant, but Gu Xi couldn't wait to hug him. His breath and embrace are what she loves. Gu Xi remembered that when she was released from prison in her last life, the sun was just right. When she walked out of the door, the scorching sunlight fell on her eyes, making her feel like she was in another world. She spent 5 years in jail and was isolated from the world. She was abandoned by everyone and forgotten in a corner. No one will remember her and no one will miss her. but Lu Ziwen's car was parked on the side of the road. There were cigarette butts everywhere. He didn't know how long he had been waiting. There was a layer of gloom covering his whole body. When he saw her, he was slightly startled. That gaze, for some reason, hurt Gu Ci. She turned around in a hurry, covered her face, pretended not to recognize him, and left in a hurry, but Lu Ziwen called her from behind. Gu Ci, where are you going? Gu Ci paused, but she didn't expect that Lu Ziwen would recognize her despite her ugly appearance. You got the wrong person. Gu Ci couldn't get a taxi and hurried away. Lu Ziwen drove slowly behind her. She wanted to stop the car, but Lu Ziwen asked, do you have money to take a taxi? Gu Ci was embarrassed. Lu Ziwen also softened his tone and said, come up, I will take you home. Many years have passed, and Gu Ci has never forgotten the scene and these words. Gu Ci raised her head and looked at Lu Ziwen, who was very close at hand. His face was younger than when he first met him after he was released from prison in his previous life, and his eyes were more open and not gloomy at all. Lu Ziwen, I love you. Gu Ci put her arm around his waist and whispered in his arms, have a good game, I'll wait for you, and we'll go home together. Lu Ziwen hugged her emotionally and said hoarsely, okay. Gu Ci couldn't disturb Lu Ziwen for too long. He stayed in the lounge for 10 minutes and then left. When Gu Ci saw her coming back, he was quite surprised, so soon. There were twice as many spectators in the qualifying race as in the practice race, and the atmosphere was particularly lively. Since the qualifying race and the race were affected by the attack, they were held on one day for the first time in history. Many spectators who did not want to miss it still came to the scene. After qualifying, there is 2 hours of adjustment time. The race starts at 4 o'clock and lasts until 6 o'clock. Gu Ci saw Pei Chuying and her guards in the audience. She was wearing a purple coat and sunglasses, treating the game as a show. Zhang Junlin was not surprised to see Ji Sun in another stand. He was not watching the game with Pei Chuying. Ji Huan saw Zhang Junlin looking over and waved. Zhang Junlin looked away and ignored him. Zhou Jinjin was so excited that it was easy for people to forget some unhappy things in the arena, as if there had never been an attack. The emotions of all the audience were infected. It was a carnival. Zhang Qiang, Zhang Junlin's close guard, frowned at this scene. It was really an excellent place for assassination. If he was hiding in the crowd and shooting, who could stop him? The environment was too noisy. Zhang Qiang asked the team of guards to cheer up. Pei Chuying was present, who knew whether she would go crazy and do something. What at? End of this chapter.